Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioseStation.
Hello everyone, this is Trickywi, but you can call me Tricky, and welcome to episode 7 of my top 10 series. Today we'll be covering the top 10 most hostile Pokemon from the Sinnoh region. I've covered Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn already, so if you haven't seen them, be sure to check them out. And just in case you missed them, check out the other miscellaneous countdowns as well as the other conductors' lovely content. So if you're new to this channel, I'll just let you know how I judge the Pokemon for each list. I look at their Pokedex entries, design origins, and I imagine how they may respond in nature if they were real. You may or may not agree with this list, but put what Pokemon you think is the most hostile from Sinnoh in the comments below. Don't forget to vote for the next top 10, and yeah, enough of that, let's go ahead and get started with our honorable mentions. First is Garchomp. It's a freaking shark dragon. That sounds pretty intimidating, but just like Charizard, they're actually really loyal Pokemon who really wouldn't go out of their way to kill you. They're actually really intelligent, and Cynthia's Garchomp is enough proof for that. Then there's Weavile. No doubt this is an extremely dangerous Pokemon, but I covered Sneasel in the last hostile list. I'll just be repeating the same reasoning, and I find that to be a little boring. Next is Honchkrow. These birds are merciless, but they only seem to be that way around their own kind. Finally, there's Glameow. This Pokemon is just a brat. If you don't feed it when it wants you to, it'll just claw your eyes out. Not even joking. Okay, with all those out the way, let's go ahead and move on to the list. Taking our number 10 spot is Rotom. This Pokemon is known for its mischievous nature, and as most of you already know, it has a talent of possessing electronic devices. Of course, it's all in good fun for Rotom, but it could make everyday appliances try to kill you on a daily basis just so it could get a good laugh. Maybe if you trained one, it would probably be very helpful around the house, but thinking of a wild, savage Rotom would not be fun to deal with. It can lock you in the fridge, it can electrocute you, it could possess a lawnmower and run you over, or it could even possess something and jump in the shower with you. And in any case, it's all tricks and mischief. It may not even try to kill you, but it will still make your life miserable. Moving on to number 9, we have Empoleon, or if you want to pronounce it like Empoleon. Really doesn't matter. This Pokemon avoids confrontation, but if you insult it, it will kill you. Its wings are razor sharp and it could easily cut you in half with one swing. This Pokemon would never be able to be a YouTuber because it cannot take criticism. Not only that, but look at those claws attached to them. That's lovely. So as long as you don't do anything to threaten its pride, you should be fine. But we all know that this world is not peaceful, and people are always insulting each other left and right. So yeah, if we were all like Empoleon, there would probably be a lot less of us. Moving on to number 8 is Carnivine. This Pokemon is based off of the Venus flytrap, but they could grow up to be 4 foot 7 inches. With a size like that, they could easily eat a small child and possibly a large dog. I'm not talking about Arcanine, but a real large dog. They are known for ambushing their prey by pretending they're just normal inanimate plants. They lure things to it with its sweet-smelling saliva, as gross as that sounds, and then if something gets too close, they will eat them. The cruel thing about it is that it takes a whole day to consume their prey. That is an insanely creepy and slow death. Carnivore is even in its name, so we know that it loves meat. Its design is even freaky to me, but this is definitely a Pokemon you would want to stay away from. Moving on to number 7 is Staraptor. This Pokemon naturally has a savage nature. It would even pick a fight with things that are much larger than it because it has no fear whatsoever, and it's just so freaking mean that it has to pick on everybody. There is no way to intimidate this bird because honestly, it's doing all the intimidating. If you try to scare it away, it'll make it even angrier, and being pecked to death with something with a razor-sharp beak doesn't sound too pleasant. Staraptor is incredibly dangerous. This Pokemon is known as the predator bird Pokemon after all, and it will not hesitate to attack, even if you're Godzilla, because it freaking doesn't give a crap. Moving on to number 6 is Luxray. This one is pretty self-explanatory. It's a lion. A lion who can electrocute you. A lion who could chew on you while electrocuting you. Yay. What makes this Pokemon even more dangerous is that Luxray has the ability to see through anything. It has freaking X-ray vision. You can't run and hide from this Pokemon because it can easily track you down. Having nowhere to hide is very unfortunate and very unsettling, especially if you would want to be away from it. If they're anything like real lions, then the female Luxrays would probably be far more dangerous than the male, as they are the hunters of the pride. But lions also hunt in groups most of the time. How lovely. So a group of Luxray come to get ya. Yeah, you're gonna die. Taking our number 5 spot is Frostlass. This Pokemon is one of the cruel ones who would trick you into believing that they are innocent, and then kill you when you let your guard down. It seriously looks like a sad and distressed Pokemon, but don't be fooled. Like me. This Pokemon will freeze you by blowing its negative 58-degree breath. But of course, that's not all. It will secretly display its dead prey. What the freaking crap, dude? It pretty much makes its own private museum of dead things. Welcome to the dead dude display. Has many much frozen dead things. Ain't it beautiful? This Pokemon is indeed cruel. Even if you don't die right away, you're still forced to be displayed until you are dead. Dun dun dun. At number 4, we have Drapion. This dude is known for being extremely violent and even chasing both Pokemon and people. If it actually catches anything, it'll rip them to pieces. Drapion's Pokedex entries kinda contradict one another though. One says that they like to rip up their prey because they have such pride in their strength, they like to show it. But then in another, they say that they would rather poison their victims, pretty much because they already know that they could rip them to pieces, but then they'll just rather poison them to make it quick and simple. I have no idea. That makes me believe that they do whatever the crap they feel like. Or different Drapions have different methods of killing their prey. So whether or not one decides to poison you or tear you to pieces, both are not very good. Taking our number 3 spot is Spiritomb. This Pokemon was so evil and cruel that it was punished over 500 years ago. Even if it is bound to that little rock thingy, it still has enough power to commit evil deeds. It is not a nice critter, and it has that demented smile to prove it. Spiritomb is made up of 108 vengeful spirits. If you have seen any kind of scary movie, you've seen the amount of power that one vengeful ghost may have. According to more sources, this Pokemon will lash out at pretty much anyone without any thought. So if anybody happened to run into a Spiritomb, I would really recommend a priest and a box. I don't entirely know why I just said box, but get the priest to bless the box and live in it, I don't know. Moving on to number 2, we have Darkrai. This Pokemon causes people and Pokemon to experience terrible nightmares. Sure, little petty nightmares doesn't even sound that bad, but if it's a dream that Darkrai has inflicted on anyone, don't expect to wake up from it so soon. It's like in a coma that you cannot wake up from. Psychological pain could potentially be more dangerous than physical pain. The power of Darkrai's nightmares could even lead to sleepwalking. That may make you walk in front of a bus, I don't even know. In Pokemon Black and White 2, the ghost girl from the strange house was actually killed by a Darkrai. I think that is the first human death caused by a Pokemon revealed in any Pokemon game ever. If I am forgetting one, I am sorry, but a Darkrai killed a girl. That's pretty bad. Sure, it's a Pokemon game, but there has always been dark and creepy things since day one. So apparently the girl could not get the Lunar Wing in time, and that is the only cure for Darkrai's nightmares. Do you know how freaking rare Luna Wings are? Veering away from that, of course in the show they show Darkrai to be a misunderstood and gentle creature, but again, that's the same show where Pikachu is able to beat an Onix with a sprinkler system. Now, before I reveal number 1, don't forget to vote for what countdown you would like to see next. Also, let me know what Pokemon you think is the most hostile from the Sinnoh region. Taking our number 1 spot is Giratina. The reward for the most hostile Pokemon out of all the regions is probably Giratina. This dude was so violent that it was banished by the Jesus of Pokemon. If you happen to run into a Giratina, you're probably gonna die. But now this Pokemon still has the ability to travel through different dimensions according to the show. They're mostly seen in a lot of cemeteries, which is completely creepy, but they're also very territorial. Not only that, but it's a ghost dragon. I don't think about that very much, but some spirits are very scary and dangerous. But a ghost dragon. Oh, the many possible ways you could die to a ghost dragon. Yeah, Giratina is a monster and by far one of the most hostile Pokemon out there. Anyways, those are my top 10 most hostile Pokemon from the Sinnoh region. If you have any ideas for the next top 10, please list your thoughts in the comments below. And my freaking finger just popped a heart. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!